All right, joining us now for more are two people that have followed the events in Ukraine since before the war started, since Russia started amassing troops on the border as the Biden administration sat and watched. Retired Navy SEAL officer Mike Sorelli, also here, U.S. Army veteran and Florida Congressman Greg Steube. Gentlemen, great to have you on. Appreciate you being with me. This news, I guess unsurprisingly, but tragically not getting any attention today. Congressman, I want to start with you. So Ukraine using American missiles to hit targets in Russia, not good. How do you expect Russia to respond if this does start happening?
Well, Vladimir Putin himself told us how that they would respond. They would take this as the United States being involved in the war. They would take this as NATO being involved in the war. I didn't disagree with anything that you said in your monologue. I think you hit all the points very correctly. So Russia's going to view this as an escalation of the war and the United States' involvement in that war. And as you eloquently put, 60 days before President Trump takes election. So you've got President Biden making these very big decisions as it relates to war right before he's out of office and President Trump's in office. And oh, by the way, Russia and the United States have conglomerately about 80% of the world's nuclear power. So you risk putting us in a nuclear back and forth if Russia is going to do as Putin has said. This is U.S. involvement in this war. And one other little point is don't forget all of the Biden family, the Biden crime family's involvement in Ukraine. Hunter Biden got millions of dollars from the Ukrainians, from Burisma, Joe Biden's involvement and kicking the prosecutor out there. So this family has been involved in the ongoings there for a long time.
This had me boiling all day today, Mike, just because it feels like we're sleepwalking into World War III, and the media just doesn't care. They're more concerned about Pete Hegseth and Matt Gaetz and Tulsi Gabbard. I have no idea why. It's something to talk about. But here we've got a real story and a major escalation. And it feels like we're on the precipice of something big here, and the media doesn't seem concerned at all. Why do you think that is?
I'll tell you this. This, as you said in your monologue, this was an unnecessary, just reckless decision. With the Biden administration's previous policy of staying out of a direct conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia, to change their decision now, while Putin is clearly going for a land grab and targeting, Ukraine's energy infrastructure, which is smart, it makes no sense. And to authorize ATACMS, which are the Army tactical missile systems, is like authorizing the use of a needle with minimal military impact and maximum political fallout. Now, any smart man trained in the art of war would have saw a different course of action, which if we wanted to inhibit Putin's push into Ukraine to grab more land, it would be to increase the defensive posture of the Ukrainians to make it so costly to Putin that he changed his minds, which is no different than the strategy with Taiwan, with China. So it just, it absolutely makes no sense. And you said it's the systematic push towards World War III.
That's what it feels like. Congressman, should Congress, I mean, this has been a Russian red line from day one. Should Congress have a say in this?
I've thought for years and said for years that we have abdicated our responsibility as Congress and giving all of this power to the executive branch from the Iraq war to today. These are the type of decisions that Congress has the authority to declare war. If the American people want us to put boots on the ground and go after Russia and attack Russia, then Congress should have to vote to declare war against them. But the American people don't support that. The American people don't support these forever wars, which is why they supported Donald Trump getting reelected. So absolutely Congress should be involved in these decisions. And they know, Biden administrations know that they can do this without us because it's been going on for years.
I want to talk about the North Korean troops, by the way, because it's laughable. I saw a photo of these gentlemen, and it looks like something out of the Stone Age. These are not Green Berets or Navy SEALs, Mike, but that's what the Biden administration is using as justification for allowing President Zelensky, who might be on the way out in May of 2025, this May. The Ukrainian people might vote him out of office if they hold the elections. Don't forget, they didn't hold elections previously because of the war. They used that as a justification for not holding previous elections in Ukraine. But what do you make of, I guess, Joe Biden and his team using these North Korean troops as somehow justification for hitting targets in Russia?
Well, first, to your point with Zelensky, when your political position is in jeopardy, the easiest thing to do is start a war. It's diversionary. It takes people's minds off it. It removes the political elections in May. But the North Korean troops, this is a chessboard. This is Putin merely posturing in preparation for negotiations come President-elect Trump stepping into office. And here's the thing that people who don't live in a state of reality, Ukraine is going to lose part of the Donbass region. Again, you said it, you're not pro-Putin, you're not pro-Russia, but this is the reality of the situation we're dealing with. Russia will gain part of the Donbass region, but if that's what gets us to peace, that is the course of action we have to take. We don't have to like it, but accept the realities.
Great point, Mike. Just like they annexed Crimea in 2014. Oh, who was president in 2014? Congressman, I think his name was Barack Obama. Yep. All right, so this proxy war has been happening since that time, since probably before that time. Just a question for you, politically speaking, Congressman. Do you think that Joe Biden, now, the first part of my monologue, I said that Joe Biden, I think the cheese has slipped off the cracker. The wheel's turning, but the hamster might be dead. I don't know how much is going on between the ears with Joe Biden, but it doesn't look like much. But do you think there could be some calculation, maybe on the part of the administration, of, hey, let's wreak some havoc for Donald Trump and start World War III. There you go, Donald Trump, the 47th president. How do you like that? Get us out of that problem.
Yeah, I'm sure they would love nothing more than to cause all of this chaos before President Trump takes office. It's absolutely something that I'm sure that they've calculated, and you're right. I don't think that Joe Biden has any knowledge of what actually is going on, and you've got people running the White House that's not him making decisions necessarily, but you're absolutely right. You've got a Biden administration that would love nothing more than to put President Trump in a huge challenge as he comes into the White House in 60 days. And that's just what's amazing about this is 2 months and 60 days, and the White House is making this decision, escalating a war in Eastern Europe that's been going on for a couple of years now, knowing that President Trump's going to come in and solve the problem.
Never happened before in our history, by the way. We could not find an example of an outgoing president doing something like this. Congressman, just a quick one. If you haven't heard about this story, no worries. This is breaking news. But apparently, underwater cables between Finland and Germany, 2 NATO countries, have been damaged or destroyed. We're also hearing that underwater cables between Lithuania and Sweden, obviously 2 NATO countries, have also been damaged or destroyed. The assumption, again, this is an assumption, is that Russia is behind this. Now, why do you think Russia would want to take out communications cables?
Well, because you have all this talk of NATO equipment and U.S. military equipment going into Ukraine. So they're taking aggressive action, I presume. Who else would it be in that region that would be operating like that? It's just like the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which, oh, by the way, Trump had put sanctions on, and Joe Biden opened up those sanctions, which put millions of dollars of money straight into the Kremlin that helped finance this war. Yeah, the military-industrial complex at work seemingly here. Mike, quick one, just about 20 seconds. What's your concern level right now for this escalating into something really bad?
It's severe. Rob, you said it. I think the decisions made by the Biden administration are more domestically focused to create havoc for President Trump. But I don't want to send my son or my daughter overseas to fight a war that doesn't directly impact the United States. So this is concerning for me, especially with military-aged son and daughter.
I'm with you. And I'm thinking about your son and daughter. I've got kids that are younger, but I don't want any Americans. And Joe Biden told us there would be no American boots on the ground in Ukraine if this did escalate. And it seems like we're on the doorstep right now. Gentlemen, great having you on. Appreciate your time, Congressman. Good to see you. Mike Sorelli, thank you. We'll do it again soon.
Thanks, Rob.
All right. Next on Finnerty on this Monday night.